Welcome to Conversations with Chris. Today I have Arcadia Love with me, and we're going to have a bit of a chat about the path she has been on in the last, what is it, 6 to 9 months?
Yeah.
And specifically around a particular program that I offer here in Balance Central. So, first, what I'd like to do is get everybody to get a little bit more introduction into you and who you are in the world and what you do in the world.
What do I do in the world? I like to think that my main reason for being on the planet is to make a difference in people's lives. So, however that is, and whatever work I'm doing at the time. At the moment, I'm working with a couple of charities, and I'm in contact with their clients, and so I like to think that with each interaction I have with that client that I'm making a difference. So I tend, because my work comes and goes. I'm constantly redesigning my life. So it's a difficult one to answer because I'm in redesign mode at the moment. So yeah. But that's the work I'm doing is mostly with people. And I just like to think that every interaction I have with people, I'm leaving them in a better place. So that's who I am in the world. I'm a mother. I have a teenage daughter. I'm in a relationship, and I live in Brisbane. And I'm Chris's friend.
Yep, we have to declare that. That is true.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
And what's really interesting is when we first talked about unlock your power. I mean, and this is the thing. Yes, we are friends, and as a practitioner and a business owner, it's really interesting being good friends with someone and then transitioning into actually working with them through Balance Central.
Yeah.
So, what is it that made you go, okay, unlock your power?
It's interesting because, as you know, I've had a session with you, or a couple of sessions with you previously, so I knew what the work felt like for me. And it's interesting because we are friends. We meet up a lot with over cuppas and things like that, and you're never one to foist anything on me or say, "Oh, you should do that." You're so laid back with your with your marketing. So it's kind of like it was something that I was drawn to. You told me about this program, and I was interested, but interest is never enough to get me over the line. It's got to be something that I feel called to do, and and that's. I was at a time in my life when I needed something, and it called me, and I thought, okay, Chris, I've got to do this, and I don't know why, and I don't know. I just trust. I trust the process, and I trust you, and so the time was right. And I think that's the thing is for some people, as soon as they see it, it's like, yep, got to do this. Others, it's got to be more of a feeling thing. Others need all the facts, the testimonials and everything like that. I'm more of the, yep, I just get that message that, yep, that's it. It's time to say, sign me up.
Excellent. So, do you remember where your whole being was when you did do that jump? And because just to give a bit of an insight around this program, you don't get to come in with your own issues. We actually predetermine what those issues are.
Yeah.
So it's quite a different process to what I normally do with people. So where were you at the start of this?
That's an interesting question, because this process clears so much stuff. I really have to think, where was I? Because it feels like I'm a totally different person. It feels like somebody's got a vacuum cleaner inside my brain and just given it a good clean out and got all the dust and all the muck and all the things that shouldn't be there. And it's like I've got this lovely clean being now. So it's like, who was I back then? And I know I can answer it because I know intellectually, my brain remembers where I was, but the emotion isn't around there anymore. So I was just not happy in life. I was as Robert Kiyosaki says, looking good, going nowhere.
Always looking good.
So yeah, I don't mean physically. I mean, in the world, I was portraying, here I am, I've got it all together, but I didn't have it all together, and I'd come out of a traumatic relationship. I didn't know who I wanted to be, where I wanted to, where I was going. I mean, I wasn't a mess, but I was close to it. Just no direction, no clarity. Didn't really know. I kind of living for everybody else. So how can I help you? And what can I do for these people? And I still do that, but now I do it because I want to do it. It's something that is a gift from me. It's not because it's something that is outside.
That's interesting. So the motivation. So you're still in your flow. You still will. You're forever the people person. That's a given. But I think that's where some of the key in the Unlock Your Power is it changes the motivation of how we function in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
So what surprised you the most through this process?
I mentioned this to you a couple of weeks ago. It's just that my brain doesn't work the same as it used to.
And that's a good thing.
It's a good thing. The good parts of my brain are still working perfectly fine. But it's like I'll be in a situation and I'll go to react a certain way and I'll think, no, I just can't react that way anymore. And it's an old part of my brain that's been vacuumed and cleaned that just won't work that way anymore. And I think that's happened over and over and over again. And some of it is, so, as you know, it's so hard to explain, because it sounds bizarre until you're in it, until you've experienced it yourself, and you go, like you've told me this stuff before, but it's like, oh yeah, sure. But when you experience it, it's like, wow, yeah, now I know what she means. So that was the biggest surprise, is that I actually don't react the same as I used to before.
Yeah.
And the other thing is there's just more of a lightness around me. I don't go, like, we all have ups and downs. There's a roller coaster of life. So it's not like I'm just up in this cloud nine and I'm this positive all the time. Yeah, there are the ups and downs, but the downs aren't really down. It's like I might slip down for a little while and then think, oh, this is interesting. And then I'll move back into a good state again. So the roller coaster is less severe.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. So, and it's also the highs aren't so high, but it's more like it's more like you said, in the flow. It's more like I can just cruise through without needing the big highs or suffering the deep lows. So that's been a pleasant change.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So if somebody's watching this, which of course they are, because we love having conversations, what is it if they're going, well, I don't know, I kind of hear what you're saying and I relate to where you maybe were, but what message would you want to send to someone to say, give this a go? Like, what's the thing?
Yeah, what is the thing?
What is that?
I can hear you asking yourself that as well. What is the thing? Because it's so difficult to comprehend and to explain. And I don't want to give real life situations because they change all the time. But just some things that because I don't want it to sound all airy fairy. But there are real measurable changes in my life because of doing this program. There are interactions that I used to have with people in a certain way, and I don't have that anymore. Difficult situations. I remember once I came in here, Chris, and we didn't even have a session, but in consequent sessions, that situation just doesn't exist anymore. That interaction with that, and here's a real life situation. I used to have a aggravation with a certain person, and it really bugged me because I like to get on well with everybody, and this person made it was just a difficult situation.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I can see you almost transporting back to that conversation. I remember that day.
Yeah.
And it was about, in all of your speak, was that person is like it's that person.
Yeah.
And as you move through the program, what I saw shift, particularly in that circumstance, is that you changed it around to, and if I just do this, this person seems to do it differently.
Exactly, and so it's ownership, and it's but it's not coming from here. It's a major shift in my whole body, in my whole being, and now the situation's changed so much with that person that they're it's almost too much. It's almost like, oh, they really like me now, and the situation's really changed, and it's like they're all over me. It's like, oh. So that's interesting. So that really interesting. So that's a real life situation. But as far as doing the program, I think you will know. There'll be something either in this interview or another interview or one of your newsletters. There'll be something that you'll go, look, it's time.
Yeah.
And I believe people are just called to do this. And I'll tell you what's also interesting is, and I wanted to mention this, it's not one of your questions, but I need to tell you this because this is an interesting thing, and be warned because this happens, that when you know you're going to have a session with Chris, before you get to the session, things start happening. And that's been a really interesting thing for me. And now, because I've had so many sessions with you, it's almost like, oh yeah, here it is. Here, I'm about to see Chris. Get out the notebook. Here's a bunch of ideas that are coming to me. So it's like the process is a continual thing. It's not have a session with Chris, fix something, and then you're off, and then come back and fix something. There's nothing to fix. It's a continuum. It's something that it just keeps changing throughout the whole process and beyond. So I love it. And awesome. I'm very, very grateful.
I'm just so grateful that you have had that experience because, you know, as much as I absolutely go, this Unlock Your Power program is such a core foundation issue to get sorted in people, to then see it actually play out is such a privilege for me. It is so cool to see that. So thank you very much for having a chat and a conversation with me today. If you would like to know more, please check out balancecentral.com.au and particularly the Unlock Your Power program.